supply chain challenges loom for food, so farmers will be allowed to use conserved lands in order to have enough nutrition. This is by Thomas Catanacci, Daily Caller on WND. The Biden administration announced it would allow farmers to harvest conserved lands in an early attempt to boost supplies amid global food crisis. Farmers with Conservation Reserve Program (CRP) contracts expiring this year will be able to voluntarily request termination following the 2022 primary nesting season, which ends between July and August in most states, according to the Department of Agriculture's Farm Service Agency, FSA. The announcement, designed to mitigate global food supply challenges, will give most farmers who choose to opt out a head start of about 4 to 12 weeks to begin preparing land for harvesting previously conserved land, since the applicable contracts are set to expire in late September regardless. Because of the fact that critical source of wheat, corn, barley, oilseeds, cooking oil has been cut off, we've heard from many producers who want to better understand their options to help respond to global food needs. FSA Administrator Zach Ducheneau said in a statement. He said this announcement will help producers make informed decisions about land use and conservation options. But the contracts expiring in September only represent about 4 million acres, or about 18% of the total conserved land under CRP, according to a recent FSA report. It's also unclear what numbers of farmers will opt to begin harvesting their lands and opt out of their CRP contracts. The CRP, first introduced in 1985, reauthorized by the Bipartisan Agricultural Improvement Act of 2018, offers food producers the ability to conserve rather than farm their private lands in exchange for a yearly rental payment of $1,196 per acre, depending on $15 to $196 per acre, depending on the land type. The federal government paid farmers $1.8 billion to conserve 22.1 million acres under the program last year. Now, while the Biden administration announced it will increase flexibility for opting out of CRP contracts, it unveiled an effort in April of last year to double down on the program as part of its climate agenda. The Department of Agriculture, USDA, boosted CRP funds by $330 million and said it planned to increase CRP land by 4 million acres, potentially canceling out its Thursday action. Sometimes the best solutions are right in front of you, Agricultural Secretary Tom Vilsack said at the time. With CRP, the United States has one of the world's most successful voluntary conservation programs. We need to invest in CRP, he said. Let it do what it does best: preserve topsoil, sequester carbon, and reduce the impacts of climate change, he said. Now, there has been a disruption of global food supply chains, causing already spiked U.S. prices to increase further, according to research firm McKinsey. And the crisis could remove 10 to 43 million tons of wheat and sunflower export production from the global market in next year, 2023, potentially affecting 150 million people worldwide. So the instability from this conflict starts to create a whiplash effect in the food supply chain, is what Daniel Aminet said. He's the head of McKinsey's Chemicals and Agricultural Division. This is what he said last month. U.S. food prices increased, meanwhile, have outpaced economy-wide inflation in recent months, surging 8.8% in March and 9.4% in April year over year, Department of Labor data shows. By comparison, total year-over-year inflation increased 8.5% in March and 8.3% in April. The USDA did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Daily Caller. And this is on WND. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.